Dave Rubin has been saying for at least 3 or 4 years that he's really sensing something changing in the country, that people are really starting to walk away from the illiberalism of the Democrats. And there couldn't be more evidence that that is not true. It is true that there are people, more people than ever, that came out in support of Donald Trump. But it is also true that between 2018 and or 2020, or you can look at them individually, more people voted for Democrats than had in over a century. And so you couldn't be more wrong. I mean, really specifically than Dave Rubin has been over the past 3 or 4 years. But fortunately now that all you need to do is call yourself a former liberal or lefty or whatever it is he calls himself, and it gets you a job at with Glenn Beck until your audience finds out probably that your cultural values do not align quite in the way that they want you to. But that's probably for another video, I don't know, 6 to 8 months from now. But here is Dave Rubin. This is him gloating over and he gloated just a little bit too early. He didn't read those things about the potential red mirage.
But this Trump win, it's a pushback on big tech. It's a pushback on mainstream media. Like all of you people who have consistently gotten everything wrong, you did it again. You got it wrong again. And you losers. And now I'm going to do this will be a little bit of a patting myself on my own back. You losers at the Lincoln Project. Like you people who clearly can't maintain an erection so that you then decide that you have to spend your life just being against one thing. This orange man.
That's not correlated.
It's like, you guys got to go away now. But the thing is, we're not going to put you on lists. You know, I did a couple of videos in the last 2 weeks about lefties, like well-known lefties, like Robert Reich, who was in the Obama administration, talking about how we're going to have truth and reconciliation commissions. And Chris Hayes, that little dork on MSNBC, he was saying the same thing. You know, we have to have these commissions and we're going to have to find out what happened and name names and get lists of people. Guess what? Trump and the right, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. But that doesn't mean we can't mock you guys and or at least ignore you guys. Like all of you people who've gotten everything wrong. Bill Kristol, you've gotten everything wrong. David Frum, you've gotten everything wrong. You guys got to go away now. Like, we're not going to come and get you. We're not going to try to destroy you. We're not going to show up at your house or arrest you or send you to the gulag. A lot of the stuff that the lefties would love to do with all of us. But all of these people who just do everything wrong, who have refused to see the world as it is and could only see the world as they wanted it to be. It's like, no. And the pollsters, you guys got everything wrong. How is it? I am one guy. I sit here. My producer, Michael, is in the room. It's a small room. It's about, 12 feet by 12 feet. I got my dog at my feet. I got Michael here, and we write out a couple things, and then I do this.
What? You don't read anything?
What I've been able to do makes a lot more sense to a lot more people than the nonsense that's coming out of mainstream media.
I don't read. I don't do anything. I just sit here with my producer, and that's it. And how did I get this?
And his dog. And his dog.
That was a nice catch. Yeah, he did say us quite a bit.
Multiple times. He is completely indoctrinated. He's now owning it. He's a part of the right. He's a religious right-winger who got his notoriety by pretending to be a leftist, but a real leftist atheist. I don't think that's all you need to know.
People
about
need to remember
Dave
that,
Rubin.
right? It was his new atheism, which actually, and this is,
his connection to Sam Harris. That's what got him onto the political scene. And now he's doing videos that like shitting on secularism.
I mean, this is, it is a fascinating, you could actually I think someone could, there should be theses written on this, because one of the claims about Dave Rubin, one of the reasons why people like me went after Dave Rubin was because he was a gateway to right-wingerism. And In fact, it turns out he was such a gateway himself that he was like taking people on a journey. This is how you go from a secular liberal to a now religious right winger. And I'm fascinated. This is where it's gonna. I mean, he has to go further in his trajectory. And I had predicted that he would come out against abortion, and he has now, for all, almost like totally. And we played a clip of him a couple of weeks ago where he was talking about how the secularism on the left has destroyed the moral values that people have. And he talked about transgender, and he talked about all these moral values, except for the one big one that still lies out there on the right. And we're going to see it when the Supreme Court starts to attack Obergefell, and that is marriage equality. And it's going to be interesting to see how much he has to run from. I'm fascinated by this. Is going to be the most interesting. This has become the most interesting thing about Dave Rubin. How will he manage to stay on the blaze when this issue comes back into vogue, when the right is empowered by the Supreme Court and they feel like they can actually take away some rights from...
He'll justify it because it's his class overall. Sorry, Jamie, go on.
He's a rich white guy. That's right. Exactly what I was going to say. They do not affect his rights at all whatsoever, although it would be funny if his new friends coerced him into going to conversion therapy and also becoming a Jew for Jesus.
Yeah. He's going to come out as straight soon enough.
I don't think he's going to suffer. The only way I think he's going to suffer is how is he going to be, the interesting part is going to be, how is he going to finesse this on the blaze? Oh, no, I don't think he's going to suffer at all. He's going to stay in California where his rights will be intact and he'll be fine. And he's in a $5 million house now. He's okay. Yeah. Like he says, he's in the basement with his dog and his $5 million house. That's fine. But what's actually genuinely the first interesting thing about Dave Rubin, I think, in a legit way, will be how he finesses, and he doesn't have a lot of faculties, how he finesses this on the blaze. Like, how long is it until he has to actually get a divorce and get into conversion therapy?
The left just went so crazy with identity politics that they forced the justices to reverse this decision.
I used to be married to a guy, and now I realize what a mistake it was. I was like, the left had got so illiberal that I thought I had the right to marry somebody of the same sex. Yeah. That's how illiberal they got.
That's what he's going to say. He's going to say, this gay marriage works in my situation, but the left just perverted it or corrupted it, and now societally we just need to rein things back a little bit.
Too much marriage.
Mm-hmm. My new friends.
Don't rub it in my face. Just don't. I just don't want it in my face. Is all your liberalism.